Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I forgot what day it was. I'm so sorry. This is the puzzle I'm going to be attempting today. A ludicrous nonsense called Cento Mani e Cento Occhi by aqjhs. I have no idea how to pronounce that. If that has a pronunciation, it is beyond me. I didn't even know what the title meant. I looked it up, and Google Translate tells me it means 100 hands and 100 eyes, which I guess is why we've got this strange pattern in the grid. I don't know how quite to describe it. It's like a fern with lots of fronds or something. Now, and the idea behind this puzzle is that it's obviously a thermometer puzzle, but only one of the bulbs is real. The rest of the bulbs can be imagined not to be there, and then it's a slow thermometer puzzle from there, which it sounds mad, actually. It really does. We've had it recommended by a couple of very good solvers, so I'm going to have a go at it for you. And I'm looking forward to trying it. And it feels appropriate to me to try an aqjhs puzzle today because of the ricket that the channel had yesterday. Some of you so in Mark's video, which comes out at 11 p.m, some of you I think were watching it, and I think Mark had recorded it in the prospect of it being an April Fool or a Christmas special at some point, because it was a failed solve, and it wasn't meant to be released last night, and it was a puzzle by aqjhs, and anyway, it got released by mistake, and so it had to be replaced at short notice. Anyway, it seems appropriate that rather than only have half a video of aqjhs puzzles, I will attempt to make a whole one if I manage to solve this puzzle at all. That's going to be the goal. I'm also smiling away to myself at wondering how Mark's going to get on with Wordle, which I just had a go at. I've got out of the habit of doing Wordle, which is a shame. But I saw a tweet from Richard Osman earlier suggesting that today's Wordle was beastly. So I thought, I'll have a go. And I called Mark and said, what's the right word to use today? And he told me. It's the word times. So I started with the word times. I think he's getting it from Grand National winners or something. And on hard mode, obviously. I will reveal it took me all 6 guesses to get it, but I did get it. And I think it'll destroy a lot of people's streaks today. Let me know in the comments whether it got yours. Now, what else do I need to? I've got loads of news for you today. Loads of news. Our Fog of War Sudoku app is now out. It is out on all platforms. Do I have a picture? I do. This is something lots of you have been requesting for, well, the best part of 2 years. We have finally managed to put it together. It features puzzles by some of the great and the good of the Sudoku community. Phistomefel, Qodec, Marty, Sears, ThePedallingPianist, James Sinclair. I mean, fabulous constructions, all Fog of War. And it's been ages. It was released last week on Steam and on Android, but it's been a slow process getting it through the Apple hurdles, but it is finally out on iOS as well. So do check it out. You'll have a lot of fun with it, and let us know what you think. Other news. We have fixed a date for streaming. We're going to be attempting to solve something called the Caterdokupillar that Memrista has created with a mere 186 of his closest friends. I don't know if it's clear on the screen, but they are little 6x6 Sudokus in this caterpillar, and there's a lot of them. So that's what we're going to try. Monday night, 10 p.m. UK time. We'd love to have your company for that. The Sudoku hunt we've got going on over on Patreon. I should mention that the Sudoku Skunk Works have created this wonderful series of puzzles. Duality 2, 16 puzzles in all. There's an unusual prize. For the first time, we're offering the prize of making a Sudoku video with me as an option. If you'd like to do that, that is going to be the prize for this month's competition, which closes just on the 20th. We're closing in on the 20th now. And there's also my solve of Lake's Roggen puzzle, 2 hour. It's a 2-hour video. If you like long Sudoku videos, that's there as well. Now, next thing I'd like to mention is the Asian Sudoku Championships, which are approaching. They're going to be held in Chennai in India, 18th to the 20th of January 2025. And Prasanna Seshadri wrote to us to say, could we shout this out and encourage all of our Asian viewers to think about whether or not they might like to attend. I will say that it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do, to go to any of these championships, because you meet like-minded people who share this wonderful hobby. It's so much fun, so I would certainly commend it to you. And I'll put the link in terms of how you register and things under the video. Anyone who's got any trouble, Prasanna asked me to refer or drop him a note on the Discord server. Prasanna is one of our moderators on the CTC Discord server, so he's often there, and he will help as much as he can. He's an absolutely brilliant proponent of these things, a great ambassador for the world of Sudoku. And yeah, I hope the event goes off very, very well. I'm sure it will. And then I've got 2 birthdays to do today as well. Let's do those. So Dan, over there in, is it Wappingers Falls? I can never say it properly. Wappingers Falls, New York. Your girlfriend Stephanie wrote to me. I think you are our viewers in Wappingers Falls, aren't you? Now, Stephanie was very mean as well, because she said, I'm not going to be making a chocolate cake for you this year, Dan, but she's going to be making you Reese's peanut butter and chocolate chip crumb cake. Oh my goodness, that sounds magnificent, Dan. So I think you're in for a good birthday. Many happy returns. Now, not a birthday actually, but Hope, your partner Ian, wrote to us. I think you're over there in Michigan, to say that today marks the 10-year anniversary of the 2 of you starting dating. And I'm not sure if this is the same anniversary, but I know you've been married for 4 years. And, well, Hope, many congratulations on the anniversary. I hope that you, it seems like a very good excuse to have chocolate cake, although whether it will be as good as Reese's peanut butter and choc chip crumb cake or whatever it was, I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Now, that's all the news. Let's turn our attention to Cento Mani e Cento Occhi by aqjhs. That is an impossible thing to say. But I mean, the rules won't take long. They're very straightforward in theory. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits along the slow thermometer line increase or stay the same, starting from its only bulb end. The position of the single bulb end is to be determined, and it is on one of the cells marked with circles. So, I mean, I don't really know. Let's imagine, I'm probably going to luck out and get the correct bulb. I don't mean to. If that does turn out to be the bulb end, it's luck. Now, imagine this was a normal thermometer, a normal Sudoku thermometer. So I'm going to change it somehow. Let's imagine it went like this, and then went there. Now, thermometers are very straightforward in Sudoku normally. You start with the bulb, that has to contain the lowest digit, and then you simply have to increase as you move up the thermo, just as mercury would increase as the temperature rises on a normal thermometer. So the digits rise. Now, on a slow thermo, it's a little bit different, because you can increase, or if Sudoku allows it, you can stay the same. So this could be a 1. Now this couldn't be a 1, because it's in the same row as a 1. So that could be a 2. Then we're in the same box. We have to increase. We can't stay on 2. We could increase. But here, look here. This could be double 4, because we don't have to increase to this square. We could stay the same. And so we could stay the same, and then we could increase again. So this is how slow thermometers work. But this puzzle is more complicated, because only one of these bulbs is the real bulb. So it's the sort of, it's in the nether regions of the puzzle. It's the sort of Phistomefelian bulb, from which everything else sprouts and expands and must get bigger. So if this was the bulb, then, you know, you sort of increase to here, could stay the same, increase to here, increase to here, increase to here. From there, you'd be increasing down this sort of central negative diagonal strut of the fern, and then all the logic would then flow from that. But obviously, that might not be the one. That could be the one. Anything could be the one. Anything apart, anything in a circle. Oh, I suppose it doesn't even have to be a 1. Oh, good grief. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. No, it could be anything. It just has to be the low. It has to be the lowest. It has to be the Phistomefelian cell through which everything sprouts. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, what I will say, and it amuses me to say it, so I'm going to say it, is that this puzzle might be immune to Mark's favourite method of solving thermometers. So Mark, the way Mark solves thermometers is so different to me. He likes to pencil mark them. I.e., well, it's even impossible to illustrate how you would pencil mark this, because you don't know where the bulb is. You know, you can't limit the cells. I mean, obviously, if you knew that was the bulb, then you could go 1 here. No, pencil marking. 1 here. That's at least a 2. So that's at least a... So 3, 4, 5... You know, you'd have to do something like this. But in this puzzle, because we don't know where the bulb is, it might not be pencil markable, which is hilarious. So what I am going to do is my patented technique, which is going to be to ask where... So the only thing I know... Well, actually, in this puzzle... slow thermos change my secrets a bit, don't they? What I was going to say is... I find this box interesting. That is where my eye is being drawn. And that is because... And this might be wrong... the way I like to think about thermometers normally is that in a normal Sudoku world, thermometers can only... The 1 on a thermometer and the 9 on the thermometer, if they exist at all, can only be in one position. So typically the 1 can only be in the bulb. But see, that's very annoying. And similarly, the 9 can only be in the tip. But I've already seen... So normally I'd look at this box and go, okay, 1 and 9, where are they? There. They have to be there. But that's not true. I've seen at least one possibility where that's not true, because this could be a 1. And if that's a 1, it would be the Phistomefelian bulb. Everything sprouts from it, but that could be a 1. So I can't lock the 1 in box 5 into one of those squares, because it could be there. And there may well be other places it can be as well. Let's think about that. If this is a 1, that could be a 1. Obviously, we can put the 1 anywhere if it's not on a thermometer. That can't be a 1. Because in some direction we don't... It's very strange, actually, because not knowing which way the increase goes is really strange. But obviously, if that's a 1, let's say that the Phistomefelian cell was over there, then what would we put into that square? You'd have to put a lower digit than 1 in, and that wouldn't work. There are no lower digits than 1. That can't be a 1, because this cell, this cell sees the same cell in its column. So if you make that a 1, this has got to be actually lower than 1. That can't be 1. Oh no, this can't be 1. Because although this can be 1, one of these would have to be lower than 1 then. Because they all see this cell. So that can't be 1. Can that be 1? No. No, it can't be, because that can't be 1. It's very odd, actually. That can't be 1, because that can't be 1. So 1 is in one of 3 places, is what I'm going to conclude from that. Now, that is a lot less profound than saying it's definitely in the gaps, isn't it? 9, is 9 similar or not? So in theory, if these were normal, you couldn't put 9 anywhere. I need to be able to go to a tip that could repeat the 9. So here again, if that's 9, no, 9 is different. Oh, that's weird. Okay, that is weird, because yeah, 1 is interesting because it only needs 1 bulb to work. 9 is different because every shoot in every direction that exists has to be able to be 9. So this can't be 9, because if that was 9, obviously this is the high end of the thermo. We can't go to 10 here. So everything else up here has to be 9. That could be 9, but that can't be. That could be 9, but then those couldn't be. So it definitely doesn't work for that to be 9. Now, let's just check these others. That can't be 9 because that can't be 10. No, I think it's more constrained in this direction. Yeah, it's more constrained. So 9 is in one of those squares. So that would be great, wouldn't it? So all I have to do to solve the puzzle, well, this is actually not true at all, what I'm about to say. But imagine I could disprove that from being 1. Then this would be a 1-9 pair. And then I'd have to place 2 to 8. I mean, it must be difficult to... I mean, 8 can only have 1 higher digit on thermos. But what we've learned, actually, is it's the low digits that are more constrained. So I should focus more on the 2. Where's the 2 in box 5? Now 2... No, actually, no, hang on. When I said it's the low digits that are more constrained, that's not true. No, that's not true. The high digit is more constrained. Sorry, it's very... the neural network that is being built in my brain to try and handle this puzzle is faulty at the moment. So, now 8 is going to be more difficult, because 8 can go up to 9, but obviously... So imagine that was 8, for example. Could that work? No. No, because clearly if this is 8, we're not going up in this direction, because we go 8, 9, and then something would break there. So if this is 8, that could be 9, that could be 9, but that would be 10, wouldn't it? 8, 8, and all those 3. So yeah, it's something to do with this. It's something to do with high digits, I think, in this box. That can't be 8. That definitely can't be 8, therefore. What about that? Can't be 8. Because we'd go 8, 8, 9 in order to keep it down. So let's just keep track of this. Can that be 8? No. Because then that would be 8. And we couldn't keep all of these down to only 1 9 among them, could we? 8. Oh no, that could be 8. Is that really true? I'm looking at this being 8. Because I'm seeing that as a possibility. Yeah, that's weird actually, isn't it? Because it looks like it might break in this direction then, if that's 8. But actually it doesn't have to. Imagine this was 1. 2. That could be a 2. And this thermometer goes 2 to 8 to 8 to 9. And then all of these digits can be really low because they only have to beat 2. Ah! That's horrific. That is horrific. Okay. Can that be 8? That could be 9. 8, 9. And no. I don't think this can be 8. I think it works similarly to this one and that one. 8's quite difficult in the corners. We worked out that couldn't be 8. So I think 8 has 3 positions. Assuming 8 could be here. Can 8 be there? Certainly it looks like it can be to me. What about here? If this is 8, this could be... Oh no, that can't work. No, this can't be 8. Because here we get stymied up here. If this is 8, that means that the low bulb is somewhere over here, because otherwise it's ludicrous. If the low bulb is here and this is 8, we're going to go 9, 10 or something like that. So I'm comfortable with that. My neural network has handled that. But if this is 8, which means that I think all of these have to be tips, genuine tips. The Phistomefelian cell is somewhere over here. If this is 8, that could be 8, but then these both have to be 8, and they can't both be 9. So actually, I think 8. Yeah, I'm not loving this. No, that's me misspeaking. I'm not loving the way I am trying to solve this. I thought that my method of... Well, I tell you what, I'm certain it's better than Mark's pencil marking method, because I don't see how you pencil mark this at all. So, and I can see that I'm getting restrictions here. But my feeling is these restrictions are not tight enough. Or, let me put it a different way. Perhaps I would solve the puzzle by pursuing this method for a long enough time. But I don't feel I'm doing anything clever now. All I'm doing is, I'm sort of saying, can it go here? And then exhausting the possibilities. I don't like solving puzzles that way. So I want to think about something else, which is going to be... Well, what is it going to be? Do we... Golly gosh, I don't know. Is there some obvious way that I should know? I could just look at this and say, okay, well, obviously this cell can't be, the real Phistomefelian cell. It is definitely not in the nether regions. I don't think so. That cell feels like if that was if that's the true bulb, you're immediately getting to at least 5 by the time you get here. That might break. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, I've ruled out one cell from being the Phistomefelian cell. If that one was low, then everything sprouting from it has to be, all the thermometers go up from there. So, let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4. This can't be 4, so it's 5. But remember, every direction we go, we have to go up, because this was the naughty cell. So that is at least a 6, and that can't be right. I say that, but no, it can't be right, because all of these now have to beat 6, so they'd have to be 7, 8, and 9. And we can actually see from our pencil marking that's impossible. But whichever one of these you make 9 won't work. Actually, it doesn't fail by that much, which is a worry. So that is not a bulb. which means that, well, the maximum value of that square is 9. So that's 8, 7, 6, 5. That square cannot be greater than 5. It can't be, because this is not the bulb, so we are increasing along the thermometer to that square. So this square is at least 5. No, it's a maximum of 5. It could be lower, but it's not the bulb. it's not the Phistomefelian cell. But do we know, does that imply that the Phistomefelian cell is over here or over here? Does that imply that this is lower than 5? That's what I think we're being somehow led to here. That square, if that is... Oh, sorry, this is very confusing. This is just confusing now. I was about to say this has to be lower than 5. I don't think that's true though, is it? If the bulb was in this area, then yeah, then all that's happening is the thermo is changing direction, so it's sort of doing it's doing this sort of thing, and that's fine. So we don't know whether this is higher or lower than 5. I don't think anyway, although oh, it's so tempting, isn't it? Is it tempting for this to be a 1? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I think my intuition about thermos has been very much thrown by this. I don't trust it at all. Oh, well. Oh, that's it. Here's a different way of maybe thinking about this then. What happens if 4? It might be about this box actually, which is not where I was focusing my attention. But this digit here, if we assume just for the sake of example, I'm going to assume that the font of all evil is up here somewhere. That's a terrible choice of colour. One of these green cells is the lowest cell in the puzzle, and therefore everything in the bottom of the grid is a tip, a genuine thermometer tip. Well, what's the value of this then? Because whatever I put in here, I mean, let's put 4. I don't think 4 will work, because what we've got then is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells in box 8 that are definitely greater in value than 4, because these two squares are definitely greater in value than 4. And then even if we could stay the same, which we can't here, I mean, actually, no, it's going to be even. See, yeah, I mean, there's so much pressure down here. Here's a different way of thinking about it then. What about that row in general? So what I'm now saying is, if green contains the bulb, the Phistomefelian cell, all of those squares, and there are 7 of them, have to be no greater than this. No, they have to be greater or the same as this. But to get to these squares, you have to go through a digit that's higher than this. So this couldn't be any greater than 2 in that world. Because one of these then could be a 3. Well, these would have to then be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And one of them would have to be a 3. Oh, actually, that's not even that difficult. That's weird. Yeah, because you've got sort of a diagonal thing going on. You could go 3, 3. So you can do it. It's just weird. Oh, what did we say that one was? That is genuinely. This is genuinely at least a 5. No, a maximum of 5, because we know we're increasing to this thing. Yeah, I'm going to label that. This is a hot digit, definitely, and it is. I don't know what the lowest value of this is. Maybe no, it can't be a 1. It can't be a 1. The ones are over here. I never pencil mark 2, so I'm not sure whether this can be a 2, but I think this digit's quite high anyway. But let me just come back to thinking about purple in the context of this world. So, yeah, this actually, hang on. Let me try something different, maybe. This is 5. Maximum 4, 3, 2. I mean, I don't want to put. It can't be 1. It just can't be 1. There is no way that can be a 1. I'm not having it. I can't see where the natural lowest cell in the grid would be if this was a 1. I'm not even sure it can be a 2. Oh no, it could be a 2. I don't believe it. I mean, this is so ludicrous. You could go 1, 2, 2. So it could be a 2. Okay, but no, what I was going to say is, isn't the corollary of the logic on purple in row 7 there in column 7? Isn't that also the situation? I've got sort of 7 cells, so if this can't work. This can't work. So what I'm now wondering is whether the way to do the puzzle is to try and work out which quadrant of the frond does or doesn't have to have the low digit in it. Because I can now see that if the low frond, if the Phistomefelian cell from which everything sprouts is in the top left, then I have double jeopardy, because then what I've got to do, then I'm ascending. By the time I reach the middle, I'm ascending in all directions, and that means I'm going to have an absolutely. These digits are all going to be massive. And these digits are all going to have to be, well, the digits on the thermos are all going to be bigger than whatever we put, certainly than whatever we put in the middle of the grid, which we worked out would have to be a 2, didn't we? In this, so what I'm saying now is, if one of those is the genuine low digit, this middle cell can't be any greater than 2. Because if we made it 3, then this cell and this cell would be at least equal to 4, and yet there are 7 cells in this row that would be sprouting from these 2 positions that would have to be no greater than 4, and there are only 6 Sudoku digits that are 4 or above. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's not enough digits. So if green contains the low digit, then is it possible for this to be a 2? Did we look at this? That I have as a pencil mark position for a 1. Yeah, that's okay. That is possible, isn't it? Just if that was the bulb, If that was the Phistomefelian cell and we went 1, 1, 2. But then, okay, but then I'd have to do the same in this column as well. No, this doesn't work. No, this doesn't work. Because even if I can make it work here, how could I make it work there as well? What I'm thinking is, in order to make it work in row 7, I'm just going to get rid of that pencil mark for just a second while I think about this. So, to make it work in row 7, how would you have to do that? I need these now to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Which means well, it certainly means one of these is a 3. That's definitely true. But that's going to be the same in this column, isn't it? I must, because I need to put a 3 in one of those squares, one of those two junctions also needs to be a 3. So what would happen is that's a 3. This is probably correct, I think, but let's just understand it. So 3 goes here. Then, then this could be a 3. That's a very natural place for it to go, because it would deal with both the problem of putting 3 in column 7 and row 7. But then, okay, so this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I see, and these would be 8 and 9, and that would work. As I was thinking that we've got to have 6 digits here that are higher than whatever I put in this square. So 3, let's just look at this. 3, 4, 5. And then, oh, I see. Then I could repeat the 5. Yeah, that's going to work, isn't it? 5, 6, and then I could go 4 here, 7, 8, 9, and it just works. Okay. Yeah, so this can be made to work, actually. And it seems to be... Oh, but no, come back to my earlier thought. No, the problem isn't... I don't think the problem is getting it to work in one direction. The problem is that you have to Harry Styles it. It has to work... Well, you have to work it in one direction, and then you've got to work it here as well. What are those two digits going to be? You can just make it work with 3, 4, 5 here. But that means these two digits would have to be at least 6, 7, wouldn't they? It can't be 2, 3, 4, or 5. You need the 3 here because you've got to keep this down. There's no way these can be bigger than 4 and 5 because there wouldn't be enough space in box 8. Am I right about that? I might not be. Actually, I might not be. Let me think about that. Could we somehow perform some rinky-dinkage here and make it possible? It's not quite as constrained. Box 8 versus box 6, look. I mean, is this going to be valuable? Even, let me just think about that as well. Is this exploration of things a valuable exploration? If I was able to prove that the bulb is not in green, then one of these are all tips, aren't they? So we're increasing towards so that couldn't be a 1. That would give me a 1. That would be valuable. That would be valuable. That would be valuable. Okay, so I do want, if I can disprove this, I should. So let me think. I've definitely got, these digits definitely have to be But none of them can be 3, can they? So they have to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. They have to be. Because these digits cannot be kept down low enough. Although we can make this a 3, you then cannot repeat the 3 here, and you can never make this a 3, because to make this a 3 would make this 0, and that or 1, and that's just ludicrous. It won't work. So these have to be populated from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Actually, we get the 3 here. You get a 1, 2 pair. This would have to be 4. This would have to be... Oh, this isn't going to work, is it? There's no way this isn't a 3, because I need to deal with the fact that I need a 3. I need to deal with the fact I need a 3 in these cells here. Yeah, maybe it's better actually if I take out the wings, because what I'm focusing on is these digits and these digits, which all have to be higher than whatever I put in the middle box on this assumption. So yeah, I mean, and obviously if these two junctions are higher than 3, everything along the front is higher than 3, and that cannot be true because there aren't enough Sudoku digits available. So I have to have the 3 here. I can go 4. I don't like this. This being 5 breaks the world, so this just doesn't work now. We've got to find some other way of doing this. And that might be possible, actually. Especially as I quite like the idea of having a 4 or a 5 over here to try and make this box a bit more achievable. You know, if this went 4, 5, 6, 7, and then these were 8 and 9, you can see I've worked, this box has worked now, and there isn't any pressure on this. This could be a high digit, and probably is an 8 in that situation, because 8's difficult to place in the middle box. And then that could be 7. But that rules 4 out from here. This 4 is necessarily placed in this position. Oh, this is fascinating. Okay. So actually the minimum value of these, irrespective of what I put there, yeah, let's actually make this simpler for ourselves. What I'm saying is, this has to be 3. This has to be the 4. Because if I do put the 4 here, this digit cannot be 4, or 3, or 2. It can't be 4 because what do I make this digit? There's no options at all. So the only place for 4 is here. And the thing that's interesting me about that is it's pushing up these very subtly, isn't it? We've pushed these up now. These are a minimum of 5 and 6. And both, that's interesting as well, isn't it? Oh, that is interesting. These would have to be 6, 7, 8, and 9. Oh, this must break somehow. Because these digits on this front, we don't have the ability on either of these thermolinkages here to preserve the digit at the same value. So these have to be greater than their values here. So whatever we put in here, the lowest one is sort of the bound for whatever we can do here. So we could go 6, and then we'd have to fill 7, 8, 9 somehow into the others. So these would be 7, 8, and 9. Oh, this can't work, can it? How about this? What are we going to put there? Okay, I mean, if I do go 5, 6 here, I don't think this works, is where I'm getting to. But it is very, very complicated to explain. And the reason I think we've got a problem, actually, is going to be to do with, I mean, you have to link it all together. But I think I have now achieved it to my satisfaction at least. So because this has to be 3 and these can't include 4, the minimum these are is 5 and 6. That's going to force this in all circumstances to be 6, 7, 8 and 9. And that you can't put the 6 in this column, can you? You could put the 7 in this column, that would work, but there must now be a 6 here, irrespective of the order here. So we're in a world now where this digit could be lower and would need to be, because what I'm worried about is this digit. And this digit is the where it's all going to break. Because if I have to make this a digit that is no bigger than 6, because we are increasing to these 3 tips. So if I make that 6, in theory I could make this 7, 8 and 9. But remember, there is definitely a 6 in one of these squares. But you're going to say, could this be a 5? And I hadn't thought of that. So we'd have to, gosh, I mean, it's really difficult to do, but the fact that you can do it makes me think maybe this is possible. So what I'm now thinking is this turns into being 5. Because it can't be 6. These digits are now from 6, 7, 8 and 9. This would have to be the 6 now. I don't want this to be, does it matter actually? Maybe it doesn't matter if this is 7, 8 or 9. I mean, it's 7 or 8. There's going to be a 9 in one of these. Oh no, so this might work now. It's still really complicated. It's still very complicated. Okay, let me think. I'm sure it's broken. I just have to prove it to my own satisfaction. So if that's 3, we're saying that the only way it works is in this very specific configuration as well. So we have to be in this sort of world. We can't make this a 9, so the 9 would be here. These couldn't be 9. This would be a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple forced. Or maybe you have to extend the logic out to this column. I don't know yet, but let me think about this. So we're in this world, with this being 3. And this digit, but that can be 3. That has to be the 3. Sorry, being slow. That has to be the 3. One of these has to be a 4. Can't be that one. We do have to put 4 in this column, remember. But it can be this. Oh, this is beautiful. It's going to work, isn't it? And then this is 7, 8 or 9. And in what way is this broken? Actually, it is very nearly broken for different reasons altogether. Because in this world, don't forget, the only way this works is if we start with a 1 here, don't we? Now, let me just mull this. Let me mull this over for a second or two. I'm trying to understand it and articulate it in a way that is rational, and I'm not doing a very good job, am I? I'm probably not quite approaching it correctly, but having gone down this route and spotted this stuff, I really would like to conclude this logic and somehow bring this to a head. Either convincing myself it's correct, which I now fear it might be, because it felt so difficult, didn't it, to get 3 through 9 here and 3 through 9 here, subject to the conditions that these. I've got to keep, but yeah, because these have to be the digits. 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. This has to be 3. This has to be a 1-2 pair. This has to be 7. It's so forcing. In fact, if we could prove this was correct, I think I could finish the puzzle very quickly, because I can just see how it's all going to fill in, which is another reason to suspect it's probably correct, actually. If you do go in this paradigm, that has to be a 1, doesn't it? But it's the only place that could be the sprout from which all this nonsense erupts. That would be a 1. Be a 1 up there. It'd be very constrained again, actually. 1 would be down there. 1 would be here. 1 would be, yeah, 1 would get placed almost everywhere, you know. Oh no, it would be there. It would be there. Wow, that almost. Ooh. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Well, this is wrong. This is wrong, but I can't use the argument that makes it wrong. Oh, you rotten puzzle. It's definitely wrong. I've got a uniqueness problem here. I mean, I will just explain it because it's ludicrous. But let me just... Okay, I'm going to have a colour for 1s. Make them yellow for a second. This is the disposition of 1s that this arrangement would force. Now, you can see the only ones that aren't resolved are these in columns, in these 2 columns. Now, here is my next question. Where are 2s in column 7 and column 8? This 2 is interesting, isn't it? Because that rules 2 out of this square. And 2 obviously can't be high up on thermos. So the 2s in this column occupy exactly the same cells as the 1s. So there would be a 1-2 pair here and a 1-2 pair here. And that cannot exist in this puzzle because there is nothing in the internal logic of the puzzle, therefore, that would distinguish between the correct solution, in inverted commas, being that way round, versus the opposite way round. The puzzle would have at least 2 solutions. Now, I know that no puzzle that we've ever featured on Cracking the Cryptic has had 2 solutions, so I know now, for our own peace of mind, we are in a situation where there is some logic in the puzzle that will disprove this. This is wrong. But it's all very well saying that, but if I have to prove it without uniqueness, that is a totally different thing that I have to achieve. So I need to think harder. I need to think harder. Is it going to be the minimum value of these? The only way, this was the only way I could make this work, was this being specifically a 5-6 pair. Although 5-7 might have worked. 8-9. Providing on one of the thermostruts I could go 6-7. So maybe that could have been a 7, and that would have lent a 6 down here. But it doesn't feel right, does it? Yeah, it's very difficult, but maybe if you... Oh no, that can't be the 4. Oh wow, so is it something to do with the juxtap... Oh, it is. Oh, I really like that. I don't know if I can use it. I don't know whether people will... I don't know whether people will appreciate it as much as I think I will. 5-5. I'm not even sure it's... I've got to show you this because I think it's very pretty. Right, how do I do this in a way that is going to convince anybody that I'm correct about it? I'm not even sure I am correct about it. I'm not even sure. I think I am. I think I am. I mean, if this is how you're intended to solve the puzzle, I actually really like it. But it's impossible to see. Right, let me try and show you what I think. I'm going to go right back. I'm going to go right back to when we were thinking. I don't need the uniqueness example. I don't think. What I need. I want to go back to the point at which we decided that this digit had to be the 3 in order to allow me to keep these digits down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and simultaneously these digits down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, what that means is I need the ability to write 3 into this row and this column. Where can that now be? Now remember, these are higher than 3 now, axiomatically. So the only place that 3 can live in this column and this column is exactly in this square. That's the only place it can go. And now I want to ask the same question about 4. Now what we worked out is that 4 is also incredibly difficult to place in this column and this column. And I think these are the only 2 positions where they can go, i.e. sort of off the 3s that exist, if you like. I mean, let's just think about it. Was there another place in this row other than here we could have put 4? Clearly not here. Clearly not here, because this would have had to be 4 as well. Well, but that couldn't be 4 as well, could it? I don't think it could. I thought we looked at this. Why did I think that couldn't be 4 as well? Can't remember. Maybe a way to deal with it actually is to wonder where 4 would go in this column. It can't go here. It's 2 cells up the thermo. It could go here. It can't go there because this would have to be a 3, 2 or a 1. It can't go here because this would have to be a 3, 2 or a 1. If it goes there, that could be a 4, couldn't it? Oh no, that can't be a 4 because of where I need to put 4. I am confident about this 4. I thought I was. Am I going mad? Maybe I've gone mad. I want to, okay, but this is now, because of what I'm thinking is, this is where my brain is going with this, which might be a total nonsense, but where my brain is going is if these squares, none of them can include 4, then I'm going to claim that one of those digits has to be at least 8. Because the 4 is going to live in one of those squares, along with the 9. And that's going to push 8 out. In fact, this is going to be 8. And that's going to break... Oh no, that does work. 8, 8, 9 would have to be how that worked. But then where does the 7 go? And the answer to that is not clear to me immediately. Because one of these would have to... That would have to be the 8. I don't think... I thought I could see why it broke before, but now I'm not even sure I know that. But I do think there's something in this. Something to do with where 4 is as a result of the necessity to place the 3 here. So let's think about that and mull that over. Certainly I thought, didn't I, these digits had to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. I remember we did think that, but what I didn't necessarily... Why did I think this couldn't be 4? That would have made this 4. And was there an issue with that I wasn't foreseeing? There must have been. Once this is 4, this is an 8-9 pair. So one of these is a 7. Can that be 7? That would be 7. That doesn't work. 8, 9, 10 here. So the 7 is in one of these squares, and it couldn't be there for the same reason. So this would have to be 7. This would have to be 8. This would have to be 9. Which means these two squares are a minimum of 6, 7, and this has to be lower. So if this is 4, this has to be 5. And now this has to be 6, and that would be 7. No, that could be 6, 7, 8, 9, and now it seems to work again. I don't believe it, but I know this is wrong because of the uniqueness argument. So how do I disprove this? I still have the challenge. Okay, I've still got the challenge of writing 4 into this column in this world. It can't go anywhere. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. There is definite. This is it. This is it. I'm just having the devil's own job, the Phistomefelian job of explaining it. I'm sure that this is somehow relevant to the solution because I can feel it's very pretty. So again, what I'm now I think it's to do with whether you can put 4 in any of these squares. And I think the answer is no. So let's go back to it. I thought this had to be 4. But if it wasn't, where else could 4 go in this row, in the purple? And I thought perhaps it could go here. Although now I'm wondering about this square. Why couldn't that be a 4? And that would then be a 4. It's so... But then... Because I do have to put 4 into this box in one of these squares, don't I? That's definitely true. Because this box can only be made up of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So there is definitely a 4 in one of these. And therefore, and it can't be there by thermologic. So it's either here or here. And if it's here, this has to be 4. And if this is 4, where do we put the 4 in here? And the answer is not there by Sudoku, not there because this would be 3, 2 or 1, not there, this would be 3, 2 or 1, possibly here then. But then this can't be 4 because I've put 4 here. So that doesn't work either. So there would not be a 4 placeable in blue if I do make this a 4. So I cannot make that a 4 and this is a 4. Sorry, I'm recapitulating logic that I think probably we got to before. But So what I'm now saying is, if this is green, it is absolutely the case that you have to put 2 in the middle. This has to be 3. This has to be 3. This has to be 4 in purple. And I think this is going to have to be 4 in blue. But we now need to think that through. Because neither of these can now be 4. Which, this is it. This is it. So these are at least 5, 6, say. Which means all of these fronds move up in value. This can't be the 4 in blue because it's 2 spaces away, so that has to be a 4. And now 4 is ruled out of these squares. This has to be a 4, 9 pair. This has to be 8 now. And you might say, yeah, but that works. But does it though? So this is the last bit of the proof. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to disprove this. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to somehow... Wasn't it aqjhs? That puzzle that Mark failed on. Yeah, I'm beginning to have some sympathy. These puzzles are not easy. So the only way this could work now is if this is 8, 9. And this is obviously 5, 6, 7, therefore. This is 3, this is 1, 2. Let's try and find an elegant argument for why this doesn't work in the world. So now what we can see is these squares are 6, 7, 9. There's no problem there, I don't think. Which means... Okay, and these digits are a minimum of 5 and 6. And therefore these digits are, because of the orthogonal connection across here, these have to be greater than a minimum of 5 and 6. So these squares definitely in this world are 6, 7, 8, 9. And obviously we can't put the 6. So this now is not able to be a 6. But are we ending up where we were before? I don't think we are, quite. But it's still complicated. These are 4 and 9. 6 is looking at this square, which cannot be as high as 7 because there are 3 digits higher than it. It can't be 6 now, so it must be 5. Which means this must be 5 because it can't be 4. Which means this must be 6, so that's 6. It's a bit bifurcated this, but I'll probably be able to distill it down to be something a bit cleverer in a moment or two. Let me just think about it. Why is this broken, or is it not broken? This can't be 9. This is our 1-2 pair in column 7. And this was forced. This was absolutely forced. Or was it? Could I have made that 7? And that 8, 9, and that, yeah, I could have made that 7. I did need this to be 5, but that could have been 6 or 7. So where we end up is here. And again, we know this has to be kept down, don't we? For this to be 7, 8, 9, and that would have to be 9. This would have to be 7, 8. That would be 7. And I can't disprove it. I don't think. That would have to be 6 under this paradigm. I mean, the whole thing. Let me just see why this gives rise to a problem. Because we know it must do, somehow or other. So this is all absolutely forced. That has to be 9 because this has to be a 7, 8 pair. So this has to be, oh, there, it breaks here. So how could I have seen that? That's interesting. So the way it breaks... The way it breaks is to do with this. So maybe I have to extend the logic then into rows 8 and column 8. Oh, I didn't think of that. Right, let's go back to where I was comfortable that the logic was sound. Sound is the wrong word. Pretty is a word I'd like to use. I like it very much to this point. I'm very comfortable with that. That's not, and that was not done by bifurcation. That felt fine. To get the 4s into here felt relatively clever, didn't it? Or did to me, as clever as I can do. So now, is there some way I can foresee? Yeah, maybe this is what what I've missed is now. I have... Oh, is it that simple? Oh, that would be very clever. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, is it that simple? Oh, goodness. That's interesting. I might be able to articulate this, I think. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about now is this. I'm so close to understand. I'm so close to being able to just state something here, and it's eluding me by just a tiny bit. What I'm thinking is, in this column, not that one, and in this row, I'm running out of colours I'm prepared to use. Let's get rid of that orange maybe. In fact, maybe we use green. Rather than using green, we might use orange there. Oh no, orange is horrible. Sorry. Let's use yellow. There we go. That's good. What I'm thinking is, I've been very obsessed with the fact, oh, it's very difficult to make this work, because I had to create 7 digits, if you like, that were bigger than these 2 digits. What I'd failed to appreciate, though, is that in the row below, there's actually no ability, if you look at that. I can't repeat, none of the thermos, in moving from row 7 into row 8, none of the thermos allow for a repeated digit, do they? So actually, what that means is that if I do populate these squares with 3 to 9, which I would do, these squares have to be 4 through 9, because there's no possibility of repeating a 3. They have to be 4 through 9. And the same is true if you look at this column. Again, the way that the thermos move from column 7 into column 8 never crosses a region boundary. So these digits absolutely have to be 4 to 9. So the only way this works, firstly, these would be a 1, 2, 3 triples. That might fail for some reason. In fact, you place 3, wouldn't you, in row 8, I'm seeing. Because this couldn't be 3, and that couldn't be 3. So this would be a 3, this would be a 1, 2 pair. Which I think definitely fails, because we know that the 1s and the 2s are in these positions. This would be, hang on a minute, let me just keep thinking about this. I mean, yeah, that does actually break it. I mean, it's very hard to see, but I think there might be something more succinct. So we have to, so one of these digits has to be a 4, is what I'm thinking. And the thing is, oh, it can't be that one. But if we make that a 4, or yeah, so I see, it sort of does propagate. And that would deal with it for both red and for yellow, and it's the only place that would. You can't put 4s in these positions because it's putting too much pressure on the thing. So in fact, this logic, what it does, it's really beautiful. I mean, there's something very interesting going on here. What that means is that if we are in the world where we've got green going up this line like this, this is absolutely a force sequence. It has to go 1, 2, 3, 2 4s here, 3 here, has to go 4 here. It's the only way of doing it. And then what? is there some issue? We know these would have to be 6, 7, 8, 9 as well, don't we? That's certainly true. I don't think that gives rise to a problem. I mean, the problem I'm foreseeing here, incidentally, which again, I don't know if this could be considered valid logic. Maybe it can't. Maybe it can, or maybe it can. I don't know. I mean, I have seen ways that this breaks now, and the video's getting very lengthy, so I might have to avail myself of one of these break, not bifurcatory breakages, but less elegant than I sense is going on underneath the hood. I think that there's probably some absolute genius going on in this puzzle. I can't quite grasp it. When I did the thing with the 1s and 2s, why did I think 1s had to be in those positions? How did I get to that? I think I thought this had to be a 1. Oh yes, that's correct. I am correct. Yeah, I mean, just to take this very slightly further to show you how it breaks at this point, we can say at this point that this square has to be the 1. That's the only valid bulb from green, which makes this a 1. And then we get this pattern that we looked at earlier, where the 1s and the 2s in columns 7 and 8 are going to be in these positions. But the question now is, what's that digit? And my logic on yellow means these squares are a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that square's got no possible value. So that does show you that this is wrong in a slightly elegant way to do with 1s, 2s and 3s, and the logic that these digits all have to be 1 greater exactly than these digits. So you're going to get a 1, 2 pair. Well, it doesn't matter, it's definitely wrong. I mean, I sense that there is something even... I think there's something elegant, more elegant than this going on. But I think my chance of finding it... well, I might have to find it if I go right back to the beginning and go along a different train of thought in order to generate this. But I hesitate to do that, because I think that probably that's a bridge too far for people's patience with me. And this is it's a great example of a puzzle where there are probably many different ways you can go about solving it. And if you don't pick the way that's either intended or most efficient, you can find yourself in some absolutely, still wonderful territory logically, isn't it? It's so interesting. It's just, I keep thinking I've almost got some really beautiful logic, and that would explain it. And although I've come up with logic, I don't know if I've come up with the logic that was essential. But I certainly now demonstrated, to my satisfaction at least, that this is incorrect. And I think that that's going to be at least slightly interesting, because what it means is that the bulb is not in green. All of this has all taken me this long to prove that you can't have a bulb in green. And if you can't have a bulb in green, what we should do is firstly delete the green, secondly delete the 1s, thirdly delete the 2, and delete all the numbers because the numbers are wrong, definitely. Delete those numbers, delete this number, no, that pencil mark, corner pencil mark's correct. Remember that square had to be at least, or maximum 5, I do remember that. I can't remember if we thought it could be a 2 or not. I think maybe we did think of it, 1, 2, 2, yeah, it could possibly be a 2. This 4, 9 is wrong. That's definitely, well, it might turn out to be correct, but it's not logical anymore. Our logic around purple and thingy can come out. And what we now know is that each one of these is a tip. And what we now know is we're ascending, aren't we, towards these tips over here. So this can't be a 1. Yeah, that's okay. So that's the immediate deduction you get from this, which is why I pursued it. This is not a 1. So now this is a 1-9 pair. And now if my pencil marks are correct, that's the only position left for 8 in this box. So we know all of these are high digits. I'm actually just going to label them with orange to remind me of that. They're all high, hot digits. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be, it might be this digit, mightn't it? If that's 5 now, and we're increasing in this direction. Yeah, but you've still got to be really careful here. It's really awkward. Because although if we were increasing like this, the world might become a complicated place. That could be lower, couldn't it? We could... hang on. If this is where the bulb is, we could be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. Well. Oh, hang on. If that's 8, that's got to be 8. Oh no, could this be the... oh, no, hang on. Maybe this is the bulb. I hadn't thought of that. No. No. Because we go 1... if this is 1, 2, 8, that's 9. And we haven't finished the thermo. So this must go 8, 9. There we go. There's something. We've got more digits in the grid than we had before. 8s live in one of those squares. Surely... is that... no, that might be a T. Oh, it's so confusing. And I'm also having to now forget all the logic I was doing that was relying on all these digits being high, because now one of these digits is going to probably be, well, it is going to be low. It's probably something to do with where 2 goes in this box, I think. But let me just mull that for a moment. We know this... yeah, okay, I'm actually going to... this can't be 5 anymore, because we know it increases to this bulb. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Well, that's going to be good and bad. I'm not sure this can be 4. 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we'd hit 8. So this is 2 or 3 increasing down here. So the maximum value of this is 7. Mark's now going to be laughing because I'm sort of pencil marking. Yeah, so there are just 2 options for each of the cells along here. That's a perfectly acceptable pencil mark. I'm not having any different. And this is 2 or 3, and it's increasing. So if one of these was the bulb, how does that work? If that one was the bulb, 1, 2, 3... that should be a 4. I don't think one of these can be the bulb. I'm now thinking one of these might have to be the bulb to keep this. Yeah, aren't we in a world again where we're trying to argue this is... if we go... yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, what I'm trying to say is are we increasing to go from the central square to here? The only way we're increasing is if this is a 2, and this is not a 2. Because if this is 2, this is 3, and one of these squares has to be a 1, because it has to be lower on a thermometer, and none of those squares can be a 1. So actually, what we're doing instead is we're increasing from this digit to the centre. So this digit is now at least a 3. And because we have increased to go from there to there, well, that means that one of those bulbs is the naughty bulb that we've been looking for. That is forced. So now... well, I was going to say, do we know one of these is a 1? But we probably... it probably is still possible to have a 2, maybe. 2, 3, 3. There you go. Yeah, you can. Probably. I'm not certain that works, but it might work. But surely now we can do some other magnificences, can't we? He says, desperately trying to work this out. One of these is low. All of these now, everything is high. Everything is high. You can think of this now almost as a normal thermo puzzle. We do have to write 7 into something. That might not be as easy as it looks, actually. Ah, yeah. Okay, which of these is 7? Can't be here, because then we go to 7 here, minimum, 8, 9 here, but this must be more than 7, because that's 7. And it can't be, because 8 and 9 have gone. So that's not 7. That's not 7, because we can't put 8 or 9 into any of these squares. If that's 7, that's at least 7, 8, 9, 10. We've already learnt that. That can't be 7 for the same reason, because this little flower here breaks. So the only place you put 7 is there. That is 7. That's got to go up. That's 8. That's 9. Wow. Okay, but that's good. That's good. The goodies are now winning again in their way. Oh, nearly. I thought I was going to get 7 in here, but I'm not. 7 is in one of 2 places. We probably have to look at 6. I am aware. I'm just delaying it. That can't be 6 now, can it? Because these would have to be made up of double 7, so that's not 6. That can't be 6 because none of these can be 7, 8, or 9. So 6 is in one of those squares. I think this is going to have to be 2, isn't it? It's going to have to go 2, 3 to the middle, I think. But I'm not certain, so let's just delay on that. So if that's 6, surely this breaks. 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 7, 8. Bobbins. Oh, you rotten old puzzle. Oh no. This scuppers all my logic, all that beautiful logic I was doing in column 7 and row 7 is totally scuppered by there being a 1 down here or 2. In fact, not there now. Ah. One of these is now the bulb. Okay, well, maybe this is what I'm meant to do. So we go down to here, don't we, which could be the same digit. So maybe that can't be the bulb. 1, 2, 3, 3. No, it can be, I think. I wish I knew which one it was. Okay. Alright, so let's ask a different question then. Where can the 2 be? Bearing in mind we're increasing from this world. Yeah, I mean, this is the lowest digit on the thermo. That's got to be 2. Where's 3 now? These are all 1 step away. That's got to be 3. These are 4, 5, and 6. That's not able to be 6 for reasons we've already established. 2 is placed in this box. Wow. So that's 2. That's 7. 1 is down here. This digit... All of these digits. The problem is they could all be the same. 4, 5, 6. Oh, do I really have to do this? Mark will be chuckling away to himself. I don't know. The video's already lengthy, isn't it? I think I might have to. Let's go for 4, 5, 6. 7. Well, that can't be 7. That can't be 7. That one might be able... No, that can't be 7. Because if that's 7, these 3 digits all have to be greater than 7. Because that's earlier on the earlier on the various thermos than those 3 digits. So actually, all of these are 4, 5, or 6. You'd think that would be helpful, but I'm not sure it is. That digit's quite interesting, although it could be the same as this. So it could be 4, 5, 6 or 9. There's loads of digits like this. Look, 4, 5, 6 or 7. It can't be 8 or 9. So this column might be a place we have to focus. Yeah, oh yes, I see. Okay, so this logic, where are 1, 2 and 3 in this column? That's quite a good question. They have to not be on any of these massive thermos, do they? That's not 2. Ah, I see, this is making me think. Maybe this was how to think about the break-in, is where the low digits went on the thermos, you know, in the rows and columns where the thermos were high. Because it's going to be the same here, aren't they? Look at all of these orange digits. They're all going to be massive. So 1, 2 and 3 have to live in these rows. That's not actually doing a super amount, but it's true. And it's not true here because of the naughty green digits spoiling the party. But we might be able to keep this going, you know. Maybe. This digit is at least 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it could be 8. Oh no, I was thinking it couldn't be 8 because it would go up to 9 twice. But it doesn't have to go up to 9 twice because it could repeat 8 here and then that could be 9. Ah, bobbins. So, I don't know then. I don't know. Bother. Okay, so we have to try something else still. What though? That's quite low. But it's orthogonally connected. Oh, this digit might be under a bit of pressure because of the orthogonal connections here. So this is 5, 6, or it can't be 7 because this would get too high. So that's just 6 or 7. Ha! No. Yes. Yes. That's a 4, 5, 6, 7 quadruple in the row. So, oh, so that is 8. That's actually not what I was expecting at all. I mean, I did look at this. This has to be 9. It has to be higher than 8. And that can't be 9. That has to be 8 now. So we are in a ludicrous world where this is 8. This is 9. So this is not 9. That's very useful. In this column, I've now got a 4, 5, 6 triple. So this becomes 7. And, these two digits have to be 8 and 9 in the column. Because I've got the 1, 2, 3 triple. And I know the order. That's 8. That's 9. 8 lives in one of those two squares. Wow. Wow. I shouldn't probably say this, but I am now starting to feel a tiny bit confident I might be at least able to solve the puzzle and present it, which is a relief. That's 7 because it can't be 4, 5 or 6 because of this triple. Which I mean, actually, I really want to do that as well, because I'm sure that some clever people who watch the video will say, Simon, you could have done this in a different way, and this was the logic. Which I genuinely do find incredibly interesting when that happens. I'm trying to do the Sudoku at the same time. What's that digit then? That's got to be higher than 4. So it's 5, 6, 7. It's not 8 or 9, is it? You get all these weird triples ending up in the orange squares. Oh, I wonder if you know, at how late a stage, whichever one of these turns out to be the bulb thing, will be revealed. 2. No, that doesn't work. It would be a very useful thing to know. Okay, that's got to be higher than this digit, but that's still lots of options. 5, 6 or 7. These 3 digits are all higher than this digit. So they are from 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now these can't be 7 or 9. That can't be 9. So if this was 6, it wouldn't work, would it? Because these would be 7, 8, 9, and 9 can't go into any of the squares, so that's not 6. You'd think that would do something. That can't be 8. You'd think it would do something, but it actually doesn't. Right, this is 1, 2, or 3. That's 1, 2, or 3. Just Sudoku on this row. None of that helps. No, really, I don't think it does, actually. This digit has got to be higher than 4, 5. So 5, 6, can't be 7, can't be 8. Could it be 9? The answer is perhaps. I don't know. Oh, I see. It's this row. It is. These triples are emerging. I'm just not seeing them. I'm getting tired now. 4, 5, 6 here. So this is 7. And that's 9. And the 7 should do something, doesn't it? Apparently not. The 9? No. Apparently not. 9 is in one of those two squares. Good grief. That's amazing. Okay, so in this column, there is a 3 up here. There's a 3 down there. It could be on the thermo, I don't know. Right, let's look at these two digits then. These are higher than 4. So they're 5, 6, 7, or 9. But we can get rid of 9 from this one. Now, can we do any better than that? It'd be nice to get rid of 9 from here, wouldn't it? Might have to colour our 4, 5s and 6s and things like that. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, here's an interesting thought. That can't be 6. Because if that's 6, those two digits, one of them could be 6 and repeat, but the other one couldn't be anything. Because it can't be, it's either got to be the same as 6 or higher than it. So that's not 6, that's getting me a 6 here. Which means this is 6. And that's great. That's absolutely great. Or is it? Well, it might be. Right, these now can't be 5. That's very clear. They also can't be 6. So they are 7 and 9. And we know the order. So that's not 7 anymore. Let's be careful with our pencil marking. 9. Oh no, 9 is in one of 2. 7 is placed. So 7 is in a domino at the top of column 7. Oh look, that's going to be the 1, isn't it? That looks great in the row. Okay, we're still in it. We're still alive. We've got to just figure out a few more things, and then we'll be golden. How are we going to go with this next? 9, 7. 7 is in this domino as well. Have I sort of... Yeah, I think I have. I think I've filled in a great deal of thermometerage. If that's 5, that's a 5, 6, 7 triple. If that's 5, 6, this is 7, this is 4, this is 4, this is 5. Oh, I can repeat my logic now. That's beautiful. How could that be 5? What would these be? They both have to be 5. That's impossible. So that's 4, that's 5, that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8. Wow. This is so clever. I mean, it's preposterously clever, actually. In a way that's making me feel totally inadequate. But okay, I can put 5 in here by Sudoku. But unfortunately, these are... This is the perils of live solving. Where is 6 in this box? It seems to have to be here. We don't always have things all our own way. And we just have to do our best. That seems to be a 3 now. That seems to be a 5. 5s, I feel like I've got... Oh no, I thought I had lots of them, but I don't. No. I still don't know which of the green thingies is the correct thingy. Ah, but I have got a 1-3 pair here, which is presumably meaning this is a 2-4 pair. So this one is looking even more likely to be the bulb. That's no longer a 7. I mean, oh, there's a 7 in the corner. Using on what? So let's do... Oh, 7s are finished. 8s. Oh, I can get an 8 there that I never noticed. 8s are done, aren't they? Oh yeah, that's really good actually. I get an 8 in the corner down here, displacing a pencil mark for a 9. So I get a 9 here. Now, 9s are done. 8s are done. 7s are done. We've already done that. 6s. No, not done at all. Oh, but I can get a 6 here. Which places a 6 here, I think. Now that displaced a 1. So that's become a 1. This has become a 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, this must do it. 1 and 5. Oh, I see. Oh dear. I was about to say, yeah, but if that's like an orange digit, we could go 2 to 5, couldn't we? Oh no. Okay, so I'm still not done, I don't think. These squares are 1, 2, and 6. Really? That's a 6 though. So 6 and 6 go in. I get a 1, 2 pair. This has got to be a 1 or a 2. That seems to give me a 1, 2, 3 triple. So that's 4. That's 2. Well, that's 1, 2, or 3. This column, 1, 3, and 4 to place. 1, 3, and 4. That's not 1. So that's definitely a whatchamacallit digit. That's an orange digit. It's higher than 2. So it can't be the bulb. In fact, it's got to be 4. Because it can't be 3, because there's a digit between it and 2. So that's 4, that's 3. Now, 2 in the row goes here. 1, 3, 4 triple, so that becomes a 2. Oh no. No, don't be difficult. This is... No, I get that digit, don't I? That's 4. Oh, that's not going to help. No. 1, 3 pair. I get a 2 here. Okay. So 1, 3, 4 triple in this column, which doesn't seem to be resolved. What's going on? What's going on? So have I still got logic to perform here? I rather fear that I might have. Oh, I've got it. I've got it straight away. The moment I wondered whether I had logic to perform, I saw the logic. Now the logic is, this is unbelievable for a finish. The logic is that only one of these bulbs can be the nether regions bulb. But if that was the nether regions bulb, what would it be? The answer, let me just show you, it would be a 1. Where would you put 1 in that box? The answer is there. Where would you put 1 in box 7? The answer is there. Where would you put 1 now? In box 9. And the answer by Sudoku is there. And 2 bulbs would be lower. And we can't have 2 low bulbs. So that is not the naughty bulb. This is the naughty bulb. We now know it's a 1 because it must be lower than 2. That's 5. So that's 5. Oh, please work. I suppose this has to be higher, so that must be 3, which is also going to have profound effects in terms of... Oh, that is lovely. Yeah, that's working, look. Yeah, this is going to work, isn't it? Please work. 3, 1, 4, 3, 4. That might be the solution. That is an absolutely incredible puzzle. Oh goodness. And there's some Italian. I don't know what that means. Di cento money. Much strength. Is that mia forza? Let me think. I know so little Latin or anything. So e cento. The 100 hands have much strength. The 100 eyes, is that do a good job guarding us or something? Fano annoy lagardia. I don't know. I'm so useless. What a useless individual I feel at the end of that video. I've solved the puzzle. I did do it logically. I did try and find the hidden nuggets. I found some extraordinary stuff in there. I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to find extraordinary stuff. And I look forward to the comments. Please be kind. I didn't mean not to spot whatever it was I've not spotted. If indeed I have, it may be that was what I was meant to do. And I think I was so close to understanding something quite profound in it, though. I don't often get this feeling when I record videos where I might have let the constructor down, and I hate myself for it, because these puzzles are works of art, as you've seen. I mean, the logic in there, look at the way it finished. It's got such panache, and I just feel terrible when I do that. So, of course, if I've missed something, you guys will let me know, probably. And then I will explain it all tomorrow. Or I think the plan is to have a look at Marty Sears' new Rat Run puzzle. Anyway, and there'll be a crossword video hopefully in the morning as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and spending this movie-length time with me. Yeah, as I say, I look forward to the comments, especially when they're kind. We'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.